It is 11:36. You're listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media with me, Mara Makwanda. My hit list for today is one of the co-founders of Airbuy Africa, or Airbuy South Africa, Njabulo Makhathini. Njabulo is born in Soweto. Njabulo is a serial entrepreneur who went full-time in entrepreneurship in 2011, studying a short course that focused on business management and entrepreneurship, such as the Richard Branson Center of Entrepreneurship, Gibbs, MIT, and many more. As a first generation entrepreneur in his family, he went through a great deal of failed business attempts in his journey, putting in his fair share of 10,000 hours. He came full circle from not affording to study computer programming in varsity to owning a tech startup. In an industry that is a bigger network and connection, it wasn't an easy journey given his humble beginnings, and he is here to share with us what Airbuy Africa is exactly and what it's all about. Good morning, Jabulo, and thank you for joining me.
Thanks for the warm welcome and thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
All right. So tell us about Airbuy Africa. How was it born? How did the idea and the inspiration behind it come about?
Not a problem. I think what was important to us, the vision was simple to open up this e-commerce opportunity for every African. I think for the longest time, due to infrastructure and adoption, such has been limited to a few. And I think that's when we find ourselves having an unction to create a better way to pay online. Because from our research, we were able to see that a lot of Africans, especially in the middle and the lower LSM groups, are excluded from this revolution. And I think we wanted to simplify it for them in a language that makes sense for them. So we created a way to pay online that
Mm-hmm.
only just requires your mobile number. So with Airbuy, how it works is that it allows you to you go to www.airbuy.africa where the technology sits, and then you're able to sign up and register to have an account. Once your account is registered, then when you get to any affiliating Airbuy store, you'll just check out using your phone number, and that's how much we have simplified what we're doing to ensure that even the man on the ground is able to gain the benefits that e-commerce and technology brings.
Mm-hmm. So how does it work? You just mentioned that you go to the website, etc. So can you only use Airbuy on the participating stores available, or across the board?
Certainly. So with Airbuy, it is a checkout button. So we on our side would have to integrate with your favorite store first, so that when you get to the payment section, you'll be able to see our payment button next to the other famous card options that exist. So our main mission for the next few months is to ensure that our button is available on all platforms, whether online store, on delivery platforms, hailing platforms everywhere. So also with that, we're opening it up to anyone who might have an online store, whether it's an small business who have their own online store or an app want to integrate with us, and also if there is people within the network that would have access to these famous top 10 online stores in the country. We're very much open for those chats because our goal is to sign up, have 1 million sign up users by the end of next year. And with that, we just need to be aggressive in the next few months to ensure that our button is available everywhere so that everyone with an Airbuy wallet is able to has options because the guys who have started using our platforms are the ones who are really pushing us because they see the value, they see how safe it is, and they would prefer to use that for anything that is related to their e-commerce purchases. So that is the gateway is our flagship product. We are excited to be launching new products. We've just launched an extension for the guys who are they call it as commerce. They're selling on social media. Anyone with also selling on social media can use the platform. So more products will be added very soon.
All right, that's amazing. Solving Africa's problems with technology. Now, what points has the company's technology managed to eradicate?
So with when it comes to our technology, I think that's interesting about us is the fact that we are coding everything in house, and all the product is the IP that we own as founders. It wasn't easy because usually it's funded companies that get to that level. So we had to build the technology using our own pockets, doing side projects on the side. But we have definitely stacked up and are using facilities that are used and trusted by banks like your Amazon Web Services, as well as many other tools. So we grew from a point where early stage when we were piloting, almost everything was quite manual. But now we're at a point where all our systems are operated and we're very much automated, and we're very much confident that we can handle any size of volumes that may be available. So it's been an interesting journey, and we've learned a lot. We've pivoted a lot as well. And I guess that's where the grit of the entrepreneur comes in.
Hmm. Well, Airbuy is not something that started just yesterday or a couple of months ago, but it has been around for a while. And how was it, especially during the COVID time, and how was it received by the people, by the audience?
So, as we all know, COVID times were quite challenging for every business. We also did take a huge knock, but we couldn't cry much because everyone who's in the digital space were, I guess, pushed and had to validate their solution because everyone was in lockdown and they relied on digital products. And I think we also ensured, and fortunately enough, we rolled out towards end of 2019, which was in the next few months we got into this pandemic that we were in. And I think we had a lot of positive case studies and a lot of scenarios that validated our quest, that validated our hypothesis. And we saw on the platforms that we had already integrated and we're piloting with at that time, people who have never heard of Airbuy before felt comfortable to trying that unknown devil. And only thing that they was communicated to them next to our blue button, there's a caption that reads "Pay without using your card." And I think for the kind of market that was traditionally used to going and queuing at stores and doing their grocery physically, I think they felt safer trying out using Airbuy because, again, it's not pressure that's gonna force people to jump on to technology solutions like your card payments if they're not comfortable with it. Africans are not comfortable with that option, and their concerns are valid. There's a lot of scamming happening, and us as a continent being young when it comes to this online situation, it makes people very much nervous. So yeah, I think though that was a great experience for us and a true test to say that the solution that we have is the exact solution needed for the problem, because that's another interesting thing with entrepreneurship. You might identify the solution, but what you are creating might not exactly be what's going to solve it. Yeah, so for us it was a very interesting period of time.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I'd like to know how you would change their mindsets. You know, like you mentioned that it's very difficult for our people to use different options of buying, purchasing, etc. They would prefer queuing, etc., instead of just using their mobile devices and making payments. But like you've mentioned, there's also a lot of scammings. So let us take a quick break and just hold that thought on how can you change their mindsets, and we will be right back after this.
Moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لوحدي
Humanity sets the agenda.
For a long time, we've lived in a centralized world where institutions held the all-important data and confirmed all transactions. Those times are over. Welcome to Libertas Group, a blockchain development company boasting an ecosystem that continually redefines the way we do business. Our blockchain is decentralized, making it immune to hacking or alteration, putting the power back in your hands with no middleman so you can focus on the growth of your business. Libertas, the simplest investment choice you'll make.
Decades of war, devastating drought, and economic collapse have pushed the Afghan people to the edge of survival. 24 million need life-saving aid, and 5 million children are knocking on famine's door. The world cannot just watch as this terrible crisis unfolds. With your support, the Al-Imdad Foundation is delivering emergency relief to the Afghan people. Donate online at alimdad.com or call 0861 786 243 for more information.
It's the most exclusive event of the year, the Randary Jewelers Gold Souk Weekend. Fantastic deals on gold earrings, diamond rings, wedding jewelry, and so much more. Treat yourself to a relaxing foot massage, gorgeous henna application, or indulge in our delicious high tea. Join us on the 30th and 31st of July at the Houghton Golf Club in Houghton, Johannesburg. Follow Randary Jewelers on Instagram for more details. Randary Jewelers, the family name you can trust.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
I missed
11:48.
you.
You are listening to the Mid Morning Talk on Salam Media. We do apologize for that little hiccup. Still with me is one of the founders of Airbuy Africa, Njabulo Makhathini. Njabulo, thank you for staying with us. Before the break, I wanted to know how can we change the mindsets, and how do you change the mindsets as Airbuy Africa? How can we motivate our people to use the technology that is available for them?
Certainly. I mean, I've always believed that Africans, even though we are African startups, even though we're competing with companies from abroad that are trying to penetrate the country, our leverage is the fact that we grew up in this market and it's TIA. We understand it better. And I think for us, we were the best people to build such a solution for our people because we are the people that we're building it for. And no research was needed. No research from a consultant firm was needed. We were innovating and building something that is key for us. And I think that is the stance that we took. And that is also helping us to ensure that we don't get excited in the technology innovation, or the novelty of the technology, but we rather just focus on translating it to the man on the ground. I mean, there's a quote by Nelson Mandela that says, to reach a man, you must be able to talk in his language. And I think that's how we envision technology and how we're interpreting it. Even, for example, we know the likes of your Bitcoin and every exciting new things that are coming on board and stuff, but we choosing this model because we know Africans have more than 20 years using this technology, whether to top up the airtime or buy electricity or send money to family. So we are always just on the ground and making sure that we understand and we simplify it for people, because at the end of the day, there is that anxiety that people have around technology, especially when you want to talk payments, something that is involved with their money. So I think as far as changing mindset, we are also going to have to change our mindset as innovators to not get excited in terms of technology, but to calm down, interpret it. I mean, our company culture speaks to not communicating things using the fancy tech jargon. We really, really, really always about simplifying the way we communicate it, ensure that the gogo at in the township is able to understand it, the young kid is able to understand it so that they can explain it to the gogo. So that's our approach. So, and I think once we do that, we'll actually see that Africans are more open to adopting technology than it is perceived.
And most of the time, it's just because of there's a lack of understanding, and people are afraid to do something, and it makes sense that you are afraid of something that you don't understand. And once you understand it, that's when you are more open-minded to the idea. Now, entrepreneurs are great economic transformers and contributors to the country, to South Africa. Talk to us about Airbuy Africa team and the economic impact it has, especially with employment opportunities.
All right. So the team is growing. I mean, as every startup, the founders do everything from sweeping the floor to being on investor chats. But we are growing, exciting. We are excited that we are growing. We have a team now of 6 people that we are working with, which is made out of mostly people who are coding and the marketing team, and also with partnerships from an awesome investor and partner called Adenian Lab, which is their headquarters is in Kenya. They have presence in Tanzania, UK, and Ghana. That enabled us to have access to more professionals. So the team has grown in that sense as well, and they're also helping us to map out the next part of the continent to start growing into. So in terms of the impact, I think as far as employing people, there's going to be a lot of job creation. Already we have piloted a platform where it's commission based program where people can become Airbuy agents to help sign up merchants or to help sign up individuals. And I mean, we're looking at, once we fully rolled out, a situation where we can have more than 100 agents across the country. Have students at their varsity signing up other students, have people in other parts of the country are signing up other people, because we're very much aware that for us to reach our goal of a million users by the end of the year next year, we're going to really be aggressive. And with that, aggressive is going to require and need lots of hands. And that's going to be able to create jobs and in great numbers. So that's where we are.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, now, what does the future look like for Airbuy Africa? What can we expect from you guys in the next few years?
Well, thanks. For this year, certainly is being a household brand and pushing that everyone has an account, as well as I think the priority as well is to ensure that our button are available on everywhere that people are shopping and the platforms that people love. That is the goal for this year. We'll make sure by the end of the year that anyone with a nearby account can use it anyway. And then we're excited to also have a few collaborations that we're going to roll out, where we're going to be launching other features for Airbuy in collaborative with other organizations as well. So we should be launching 2 more exciting products this year still, that all have one mission to put more structure in our unstructured economy or in our unstructured trade, and to simplify the life of the consumers. So we're looking very much to that, building up to our goal next year.
Okay. And going forward, what advice would you like to leave our listeners and viewers with?
Certainly, I think my advice is to really As Africans, it is our continent. I think we are living in a great era where we're seeing a lot of Africans step up to fix this country ourselves, and it's not gonna take just the government. It's not gonna take anything else. But once we start all adopting this mindset of fixing our Africa ourselves and the problems that we have, I think we will accelerate better as a continent, and we will reclaim the truth about Africa, which is the most rich continent in a lot of aspects.
And how can people find you guys on social media or the website?
Okay, so everything happens on www.airbuy.africa. There's no app because we want it to be able to be accessed by everyone. So that's where they can sign up. That's www.airbuy.africa. And then on social media, we are Airbuy SA and Airbuy Africa on Twitter.
All
So
right.
they can feel free to reach out even on emails, which is info@airbuy.
All right. So thank you so much for your time, Njabulo, and I wish you well in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the opportunity. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. That was Njabulo Makhathini, one of the co-founders of Airbuy Africa. And you can find out more by going to their website, www.airbuy.africa.com. And you will find the list of merchants that you can work with, that you can purchase from, rather, as well as you can also be a merchant on there. So, yeah, the opportunities are endless, and we've been seeing a lot of coding taking place, especially for young kids, and what a great way to get involved as well. Get into coding, kids. As Njabulo mentioned, we have to adopt the mindset of fixing Africa ourselves, because Africa is rich. Um, Everything has been taken away from us, and we if we can't get it back, we just have to start from the bottom again. And now we're starting with the technology, and with systems such as Airbuy Africa, we are going to get there. It is 11:59. You are listening to the mid-morning talk on Salam Media with me, Mariam Kwanda, and we will be right back.